This is an introduction to the major scale. It's beneficial to know what a half step and a whole step is before you absorb the information in this video. So a scale is a group of notes, usually 8 notes, that are grouped together in a pattern. So we usually start with the C scale on the keyboard because it's all white notes. So if you start from C on the keyboard and go all the way up, hitting every note until you get to the next C, right? That's a scale. That's what we call the C major scale. What makes it a major scale? Well, there's a particular pattern to the notes. You start with a note, then you go up a whole step, up a whole step, up a half step, and then repeat that. Up a whole step, up a whole step, up a whole step, up a half step. So the pattern is note, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. When I was younger, I used to remember this just as whole, 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 half, whole, 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 half, because it's easy to say 3 wholes, 1 half, 3 wholes, 1 half. But it's important to note that this note by itself is not a whole step, it's just a note. It's not a step until it goes somewhere, like that. Okay? But if it's easier to remember, just remember whole, 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 half, whole, 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 half. Note, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So now let me go to another key. Let me start on G instead. So G looks a lot like C, except there's a black note at the end of it. It's the F sharp. Let me show you why. Note, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. I have to go a whole step again, and that's up here. Right? You gotta skip that F sharp. Skip the F to the F sharp. To the half step, to the G. Note, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So that's the pattern for every major scale. And there are 12 major scales because there are 12 distinct notes. Right? Every one of those notes has a major scale attached to it. And you can now, using that pattern, figure out any scale you want to. Start on a black key. Note, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. It's that simple.